Okay, so stop me if you've heard this before, but that like shiny, new, incredible looking MMO, it might actually not be all that it's cracked up to be, and that there's some red flags showing with this game. The Kinffall has been getting a lot of headlines lately, with increased scrutiny leading many to think this game might actually be kind of a scam. A lot of this has to do with the imminent approach of their announced closed beta launch on January 31st, 2024. It's something I covered myself in this video last year, as well as this video more recently, actually my most recent video, where I predicted certain things happening in the MMORPG genre through 2024. That thumbnail's kind of telling. Let's go over what the Kinffall is and why I am urging caution if you are excited about this game. First, the studio is untested and brand new. Its LinkedIn states that they were founded in 2021 and have between 51 and 200 employees, though only 9 are linked to the page. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad though, right? But wait, there's more. So much more. I suppose it doesn't help that the company's interior photo may or may not be a stock photo according to this Redditor. Or perhaps that, well, their office listed on the LinkedIn is for a technical university. It does at least look to be a university with a very pretty campus though. The larger problem beyond their suspect LinkedIn comes in the promises the studio is making with no track record at all, and doing it all within just a couple years and an unknown number of employees, and decidedly probably very few employees in an interesting workspace. But boy, is it promising a lot. And this was the thing that really was a red flag for me. Perhaps too much that it's offering. The Quinfall is a fantasy-themed MMO that offers the following: a variety of biomes, seasonal weather, a dynamic ecosystem, player-run taverns, board games, a music system, climbing, robust character creation, treasure hunting, base building, ocean sailing, interconnected crafting professions, and time travel. I mean, why not just throw in time travel? Of course, you need some... Brace yourselves, because the Kinffall is going to be literally everything you ever wanted. It's promising a lot, but not exactly showing a lot. And of course, it's offering all of this with a 50 gig download. I don't know much about system specs, I'll admit, but the side-by-side of New World versus Kinffall, something just feels kind of off. Something with, like, it just feels like that's maybe not enough. And yes, of course, you could say, well, that's because it's just a closed beta, so it's going to be a smaller file and everything like that, but it just, something still's not adding up. Kind of like the trailers. The trailers are, to be quite frank, bland as hell. They are single-player scripted nonsense with no coherence. They look like sizzle reels without the sizzle. They're empty. All the areas they show are completely barren. It looks like an Unreal Engine demo, not a game. Just look at these vast cities with literally nothing there. Forests with no wildlife. The more you watch the trailers, the more it feels like a graphics engine trailer, not a game. The only place we see people are when you have your single protagonist fighting some NPCs that just happen to be right there next to the camera, and a handful of what look like very static raids in the same empty areas. The only place where it feels like there's any life to the city, like something you might actually see in an RPG or an MMO, are these little fly-throughs right here, and then the close-ups on the first-person look that you would have with the NPCs. But still, like, even the NPCs, there's just something off in almost all of these. With the NPCs, I can't fully put my finger on it, but just something feels wrong, and I can't really tell what it is. I think it has something to do with like the dead eyes and the camera angles. In some ways, it brings back memories of like older cinematics, like Diablo 2 cinematics. Not that they look quite like that, just the lifelessness of it. I don't know, you can tell me in the comment section below if I'm just off on that. But there's something more to it than just like, oh, well, they just don't know how to make trailers. The game just feels empty. It doesn't seem to have any kind of soul. There's no coherence in the trailers, in the game. I don't know what to expect from this world. It just feels bland. I mean, if you compare this to the Light No Fire trailer, the Light No Fire trailer had actual like coherence behind it. You could tell that it wasn't just a bunch of assets being thrown together because they all looked pretty. It doesn't feel like there is a world here. It feels like there are assets here. If I was to point out just one thing between these trailers, and kind of ignoring the dynamic camera angles and things like that that add life to the Light No Fire trailer, it's more that when you look at the Kinffall trailer, it feels like everything is centered where you are, and everything else beyond that doesn't really exist. It's kind of like having something in front of a painting. There doesn't seem to be any life going on beyond where the camera is in the game. And that's where one of my biggest concerns comes, that this game is just a demo at this point, right, that is centered on the character itself. The world beyond, at least to me, kind of feels dead and empty. Pretty, but dead and empty. It's basically completely and utterly uninspiring. In all my years of playing MMOs, in all my years of covering them now, I've never seen one quite this soulless. But now we've got to get to the more immediate thing, the upcoming closed beta. The testers for this upcoming test are both covered by an NDA and pre-chosen from their old website. Anyone registering now will not be included in this beta. As reported by Massively OP back in October, the way they selected testers was kind of weird, and honestly had me concerned about providing information for it. Almost as concerned as I was when Terrasland triggered antivirus software on my computer. The Google form. Yes, Google form. The exact same thing that I used for my Scuffed Game Awards as a part-time content creator. Well, it asks you some weird questions. The tester information they were asking for was everything from your real name and age to the college you went, the major of your college, and your city. Kind of odd, no? It even wanted to know what software and design programs you knew. It damn near felt like I was applying for a job with the Kinffall, not applying to test their MMO. But they have taken on these ideas of this being a scam head-on, and the way they are trying to combat this in Discord posts and things like that is that just essentially reiterating that, and them and fans of the game, that it's not asking for money. So this closed beta test, this one, the one that's going to be under an NDA, is free for the people testing it. The people that are going to be under said NDA. So the people that can't tell you about their experiences playing the game are going to play for free. But we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Could be free tests. We don't know. Could be cost per test. We're really not sure. They could have founders packs. We have no idea yet. And just throwing this out there, there's so much here, and talking about costs and everything like that, there's other ways to be scammed that don't just include you paying money for a product. I personally wouldn't really feel comfortable giving them downloading anything from their website or giving them access to my personal information. I'm not saying they're doing anything nefarious with it, just that me personally, I wouldn't be comfortable with it. Take all of this as my suggestion as just some guy on YouTube to, at the very least, temper your expectations for this MMO that is supposed to be the biggest MMO ever made that is offering you the moon. Consider, just be a little cautious with this. You can do what you want to do. I'm just saying some caution might be a good idea. And hey, you know, Kinffall and Qfail, they kind of have a nice ring to it after all. I also kind of predicted that this might not go that well in my MMO predictions video, and there's a couple other in there. This one's probably the spiciest one, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can find that video right here. You can see all the other stuff that I may get completely wrong and hold on to it so you can tell me about it later in the year when the Kinffall is actually an incredible MMO. My name is Edward Flynn, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and Happy New Year.